Hello, Watem here, and welcome back to some more Higurashi When They Cry. Let's continue. Actually, first, just want to mention, first 20 parts of this, I did all in one go, and in some reason, I forgot to show the other sprites for, Hanyu. I realized that for part 21, and since then, I've been trying to do that, but Hanyu hasn't shown up. So yeah, also, the last, I think, 4 parts I've been releasing, doing them on the same day which they're released, so yeah. On that note, let's continue.
このままだと蛇が出てきかねませんよということです。
Right, yes, because she was threatening us. Well, not threatening, but giving us a warning.
その蛇が出てくるとどうなるんですか？
さて、どうなるんでしょうね。
She paused for a while and drew on his short cigarette.
別に脅されるとか指を詰められるとかそういう物騒な話にはなりません。ただ、せっかく前原さんがひなみ沢に引っ越されて住民の方とも仲良くなれて新生活を頑張ろうとしているこのタイミングで村の面白くない一面を見させられるかもしれません。
What if there isn't the underside you think there is? That's also just part of, the courts, the whole rule XYZ stuff. Like how everyone thought it was the Sonozakis that were in charge, and that the village is behind it, this whole. But what if it's neither a curse nor the village, but something else entirely? In some ways, the fact that they're doing weird stuff at the clinic, while I don't think Iri is behind it, it does kind of lead my suspicion more with Takano. But at the same time, she's acting weird this path. But then again, we haven't gotten to the what's called yet. The festival, Minagoroshi, yeah. Yeah, a lot of things are going weird this time, this chapter. Quite a lot of changes. Without the protagonist's intervention, really. Well, I say protagonist, without Rika's intervention. And without, yeah. Let's continue. The issues between the Ojo family and the Sonozaki family. Well, village-wide matters have been slightly taboo in our group, but we may have to go down that road now. It's a fact that we haven't got any support from adults, except for the school teachers and Iri. Other adults in the village must know what happened between Satoko and Teppei last year. They all understand that it would be a disaster if we don't rescue Satoko as soon as possible. However, no adult came forward to help us.
このままやりすぎると北条家を未だに嫌っている人たちを敵に回すぞとそうおっしゃるんですか？
かもしれないです。前原さんが望む望まないにかかわらず、これ以上話が大きくなると、園崎本家も放置できなくなります。
I don't think they would get involved since Shion is quite closely involved. I think at most they'll be neutral. I don't think they would help, but I don't think that they would super actively go against it.
園崎家は今も変わらずアンチ北条家です。
If it's easy for them to do, or if it's easier for them to do than doing nothing, then they might, but otherwise I don't think they'll be super proactive about it.
前原さんが聡子さんを救うのがひなみ沢の総意みたいな感じで動かれると、つまり園崎本家としては顔は潰れるわ、お涼さんの立場が微妙になるわと いろいろややこしくなるんでしょう。
They've got support from like high up positions from two families, with Mion being the successor and Rika. So I think it would just be neutrality. At that point, I knew. This was a warning, not just advice. An ignorant young man in Himazara is making noise, trying to wake up a sleeping dog.
前原さんがこの土地を気に入られてとても元気に頑張っていることは私も知っています。
What are your intentions behind this? Do you have other goals, or are you actually just wanting to give advice to Keiichi? I think he's trying to avoid things happening with the uncle before Watanagashi, so that he doesn't run out on town and he loses his prime bait.
だからこそ余計なお世話とは思ったんですが、小耳に入れた方がよろしいかと思ってお話しさせていただきました。
Of course, he might be going out of character and being a nice guy for once.
不愉快な話をして申し訳ありませんでしたね。
Where's Akasaka? I love Hinazawa. I've made a decision to make this place my home. I'm motivated about the big job I got for the festival too. Would it really be wise for me to try and create all this trouble?
男優としてお話ししただけです。
Oishi's never your friend, let's be honest.
決して何がしかの差し金でってわけではありませんので、そこだけ誤解しないでくださいね。
Says everyone that gives implicit threats.
私の話を聞いて、前原さんにどうこうしてもらいたいというわけでもありません。ただ、参考までお話ししただけです。
My personal recommendation for what Keiichi should do is talk to Mion about it before he makes any decision. Oishi smiled at me, then stomped on his cigarette. I thought I had just made the decision to do what was right. Was that only the stupid idea of an ignorant little boy? Did I need to grow up right now and think about this again? Dark clouds hung over my heart. But wait a minute. Did that mean I didn't even have the courage to risk losing something? Was I not brave enough to save Sadako at all? I had to be the red fire. I couldn't give up, even if everybody else did. I had to fill other people up with righteous flames, just like I was.
おや？どうしました？なかなか不敵な表情で笑われますね。
いえ、興味深い話を聞かせてもらってありがとうございます、大石さん。
Still think you should talk to Mion so they can make plans about it.
でも俺、そんな程度のことで屈するわけにはいかないです。聡子を救うのが無理だと世界中の人に言われたって、俺は努力するのをやめません。
世界中の人に言われてもですか。それはなかなか男らしいことですね。
もちろん世界中の人が俺の間違いを指摘するなら、俺も真摯に聞いて間違いを改めなければならないこともあるかもしれない。でも聡子の件については仲間たちと十分に話し合った。決して俺個人の浅はかな思い込みなんかじゃない。これが最善の方法であると自信を持って言えます。
いえ、おっしゃる通りです。
Okay, so maybe it is just advice rather than trying to get his own goals.
前原さんくらいの若い方ならすぐに反社会的な短絡的行為に走りたがるものですが、
Why is she being nice? Huh?
前原さんはその点において実に冷静です。主張すべきことがあったら民主的手段で訴える。それは入江先生も言われた通り、民主国家のルールに基づいた正しいやり方です。
ですよね。だから 俺は自分が間違ってるなんて思いません。俺の仲間を救うため最善手を尽くします。
And how could that ever be wrong?
それにちょっと脅されたからってそれで仲間を売るようなやつだったらそいつに仲間なんて名乗る資格はありません。世界中が認めなくても自分だけは信じる。それが仲間ってもんでありたいと思ってます。
なかなかの強い意志だ。うちの若いのでもそこまで言えるのはなかなかいません。
A strong-willed causeless face? Oishi-san gave me a wicked grin of admiration. I could tell from that grin. He wasn't trying to pressure me at all. It was exactly the opposite of that. He had shared this information with me to confirm that I was ready to face this challenge. I didn't even have to consider whether his words were advice or a warning.
男には周りが信じてくれなくても自分だけは信じ続けたいことってたくさんあります。もちろん忠告には真摯に耳を傾けるべきですが、それでも曲げちゃいけないもんってのがある。それが男ってもんじゃないんすか？
いえね、実は私もそういうのがあります。5年ほど前、私の兄貴と言ってもいい方が殺されましてね。
殺人事件ですか？
解決した事件ではありますがね。私は黒幕がいると睨んで未だ一人で捜査を続けています。署内の全員からもう解決した事件なんだから意味ない、やめろと言われてるのですが、私も前原さんのそれに近いのかもしれません。
その黒幕というのには迫れそうなんですか？
Nope.
さてさて、どうなんでしょうね。
He doesn't have the first clue.
まあそれはともかく、前原さんがそれだけの覚悟を持たれているなら何も恐れることはありません。信じた者に突き進むのみです。私だって退職金を満額でもらいたかったら少しは自重しろみたいな脅しはしょっちゅう受けてますよ。でもくじけませんからね。男って愚直であることでしか語れないことって多いもんです。いやいや、まったくまったく。たとえ両面リーチが入っても絶対に降りられない局面ってのがありますよ。危険牌を強打してでも天牌を貫きたい。それで仮に振り込んじゃってもそれが男の道ってもんです。どうせ倒れるなら前向きに。
そうっすよね。行くか戻るかうろうろしてるなんて男の見せる態度じゃないです。
I haven't heard that expression before. Interesting. That's how a man should be. We bumped our fists together, reaffirming that real men, quote unquote, are the same regardless of their generation. It wouldn't be a simple road to saving Satoko. But I was never going to give up. I was going to save her. I had no doubts about that. But yes, real men as opposed to the virtual men that they are. New relations and sending that brat back. Huh. Magician of words. Interesting achievement. So no relations. I'm guessing that how Sadako doesn't have any more
お待
relations.
ちください。今変わりますね。お嬢さん、役所の自治係の人から電話が入ってますけど。あ
あ。もしもし。
Oh, she has no relation to this event.
どうも園崎顧問、こんにちは。自治の間でございます。先日はおはぎを、どうもごちそうさまでした。
いいねいいね。こちらこそ文化祭りの時は世話になったんね。野立がさのけありがとよ。あれ、一本いくらくらいすんかんね。すったら毎年使うもんなんだから自治で一本買っといてくらんとよ。
あれはですね、一応先生からの借り物になっておりまして、一応値段を調べたんですが、国産だと20万ぐらいするらしいんですよ。
I guess if it's like a big tent kind of thing.
中国製によく似たものがありまして、こっちなら8万円ぐらいでなんとか買えそうでして。
Because of course.
別に中国製でもどこ製でも構わんや。お呼びする先生に失礼ならんとよ。よう選んどくれな。
How nice of her.
一応ですね、今その8万の傘の方を取り寄せさせていただいております。届きましたら顧問にも一度見ていただきまして、それで判断ということではいかがでしょうか。
Municipal. I was first thinking, uh, what's one next to Hinmazawa? One where they always go to the, Oknomiya, is it? So I was thinking, is it? Or is it Hinmazawa?
それからもう3年江戸千家が続いとるんね。先生がたまには他の先生もお呼びしないとバランスがようないっちゅうしゃ。
I think it's, Oknomiya.
表でも裏でもいいから他の先生をちょいと自治の方で来年までに探してもらってもいいんかんね。
ああ、はあ、そうですか。わかりました。ちょっとこちらでもお茶の先生を探してみます。それでですね、顧問。実は今日はちょっとご相談がございまして。
こっちの傘の話ばっかりですまんね。で、何の話なんしゃ。
And how is her attitude going to change, I wonder?
実はですね、ひなみ沢にお住まいの北条聡子さんの件で顧問のお耳に入っておりますかどうかと思いましてお電話させていただいた次第なんですが。
王女聡子はあ、バチあたり北条んとこの娘か。なんかしおりましたんかいね。
ええ、実はですね、最近おじさんと同居を始めたとかでですね、そのおじさんとトラブルを起こしているとか、そんな話は顧問のお耳には入っておりますでしょうか。
おじ聡子が私はそんな話は知らんがね。
いえいえいえいえいえ、ご存じなければ結構なんです。実はですね、そういった旨の陳情が生活相談所に入ったらしいです。
I mean, even in the first place, it was a group.
相談所が言うにはだいぶ強い口調で来られていると、そういう話らしいんです。それでですね、相談所の係長からお涼さんのお耳に入っている話なら取り扱いを急いだ方がいいんじゃないかという話が参りまして。
私は何も知らんし全然わからん。なんでわしが北条のバチ当たり娘なんぞに骨を折らんしあかんがね。その崎家は全然知りませんし。
では連長の方からそういう話が出てるとか、そういう話はお耳には。
知らん知らん。何の話やねん。君よしんところが北条のバチ当たり娘なんぞに肩入れしとるんきゃ。すったらなんてその先に話が入らんねん。どういうこっちゃ。誰じゃねえその相談所に陳情しとったっちゅうわ。
クラスメートが何人かいらっしゃったと、まあそういう感じなんですが。ではこれはクラスの子たちが独自にやったことで、連長も顧問もご存じない関係ない話という認識でもよろしゅうございますか。
そんに決まっとんじゃ。勝手な真似をしさらしとん。村聡子とは 何の関係もなね。
Kind of surprises me that Ikori's going on about how she doesn't know anything about something that's going on in the village. Like, the whole thing with the Sonozakis is that they claim that they know everything. The contents of this conversation were forwarded to the Child Consultation Center. If Orio wasn't behind the commotion, then they had no need to take the case seriously. The manager told his staff to listen to what the petitioners had to say, but to never say anything promising the girl's safety. Keiichi Maibara, huh? I guess a boy like that will grow up to be a political advocate in the future. Sending the brat back. It had been 3 days since he told her to stay home. He got another call from that annoying teacher again, so he yelled at her and hung up the phone. That woman is too persistent, Teppei thought. She won't give up that easily. He was sure that she'd call the Child Consultation Center again. The biggest reason why Teppei refused to let Sadako go to school was his fear that she'd seek help when going there. She pretended like nothing was wrong when the social worker from the Child Consultation Center showed up, but that was only because he was right beside her. She'd probably betray him as soon as she got her chance. Then the consultation center would show up immediately. No, maybe even the police would come and get him for assaulting Sadako. One of his friends had told him that the consultation center works with the police sometimes. Teppei had a lot of weight on his shoulders. If the police came, they'd end up questioning him about the other trouble he was involved in. He couldn't let that happen. All he needed was some money. Teppei could leave this awful village behind as soon as he found his brother's bank book. Teppei usually stayed at home, as he found the way the other villagers looked at him unpleasant. So when playing mahjong with his friends, he played it at Sadako's house. But mahjong requires at least 4 people, and Teppei couldn't get that many people to come over. He just stayed home and alone and watched TV instead. He started using this ample free time to sniff around the house for his treasure. Sadako would end up cleaning the mess he made. Besides, it wasn't his home anyway. What did it matter to him how much furniture he broke? He cleared out the closet and went up to the attic. He also pulled out all of the chests and searched them thoroughly. His wife had been a pretty clever woman. She must have hid it somewhere very unusual. He messed up the whole first floor and went up to the second floor to search some more. The next moment, Sadako went and tried to tackle him.
ニーニーの部屋はダメですの。
何ししゃらすんじゃ。
ダメですの。ニーニーの部屋はやめてくださいですの。
Teppei immediately assumed that she was hiding the bank book in there. He threw her off and forced his way inside the room. However, Sadako tried to stop him with all her might. It was amusing for Teppei to see Sadako resisting him to that extent, but it also surprised him a little. He asked her why she didn't want him to go into Satoshi's room.
その部屋はニーニーの部屋ですのよ。ニーニーが帰ってきた時大変なことになってたらニーニーが悲しみますのよ。
なんじゃい。兄貴の部屋だからってそれだけでダメなんかい。サトシなんか生きとるかどうかもわからんわな。
I wonder if we'll ever know.
ニーニーは生きてるんですのよ。きっと帰ってきますのよ。うわー、荒らさないで、荒らさないで。
何言うてんな。わしゃ荒らすんと違う。この部屋をな、ちょいとお掃除しようちゅうとんしゃな。
He's got a very interesting definition of clean.
いないやつのために部屋を残しとく義理なんかあらんね。だからちょいとお片付けをするだけなんね。
No. No, you can't. Wah, wah, Nini, Nini, wah. The hell? You really don't want me to go inside, huh? Sadako's crazed behavior convinced him that he should stop provoking her for a moment. Oh, Teppei was very talented at threatening people. Despair makes cowards courageous. If he ignored Sadako and tore apart the ring, she might just run away. He didn't want Sadako to be nearby, but he also couldn't let her run loose.
わかったわかった。さとこがいい子にしてたらわしもこの部屋には入らん。
So he can search through it when she's at school, I'm guessing?
な、それでええね。
はい。はい。
But if you make me mad, I'm gonna rip this ring apart. If you escape from this house or tell people about what's happening, everything in there's gonna end up in the garbage. Get it?
ありがとうございます。ありがとうございます。
And now he has more leverage over her. Teppei was sure the bank book was inside Satoshi's room, but Sadako would lose it if he went inside. He wasn't pleased about the promise he made with her, but at least it would keep Sadako under control. It might not hurt him to send her off to school. If he kept her home again tomorrow, that teacher might come to the house with the police in tow. He was only keeping her at home because he was afraid that Sadako would talk to other people. If she wasn't going to do that, it would be better for him to send her to school. He could sneak into Satoshi's room while she was out.
さとこ、お前がいい子にしたったんから、風ももうええ頃じゃんね。お前明日から学校行け。
ありがとうございます。ありがとうございます。
He was the only one who told her to say thank you when he gives her approval to do something. But it annoyed him to hear her say it over and over.
あよいかんね。ざったやったが。もう、面白ない。
Yeah, if it would have gotten rid of him, I'm sure she would have hooked up the money anyway. Poor Sadako. The Child Consultation Center had finally contacted Sadako's uncle after finding out she was missing from school for 3 days in a row. I'm sure it was because of our efforts that Sadako was able to come to school today. It wasn't. However, I couldn't really celebrate after seeing her painful expression.
Sadako, 本当に心配したんだぞ。
この3日間、本当に何事もなかったんですか？ 3日間熱が下がらなかったんですの。ご迷惑をおかけしましたわね。
She started telling us why she hadn't been at school. Nobody had even asked her that.
多分、おじさんからそう答えるよう強く脅されてるんだと思う。あんな姿痛々しくて、なんだか悔しいくらいだよ。
Rena seemed more angry than sad. Inside, I felt the same way. I felt like my anger was boiling up and lodging painfully in my throat. He was only letting Sadako come to school because he was now certain that she wouldn't do anything that would put him at a disadvantage. He was treating her like a tamed animal. Was it too late already? I thought of a broken Sadako I once saw in my imaginary world.
サトコ、お前はよく頑張ってるな。
当然ですわ。ニーニーがいなくても、私は一人で頑張れますもの。
I slowly reached out my hand toward her head.
お前がよく耐えて頑張ってるご褒美に頭撫でてやる。嫌か？
She didn't reply, but she didn't refuse either. I slowly put my hand on her head. She didn't react to it, but a tear rolled down from her eye all of a sudden. Was she crying because she didn't want to be touched? Aww. No, that wasn't it. Rather, it was the opposite. If I stopped patting her head, I would hurt her feeling. Sadako felt obligated to survive without her Nini. That didn't mean she didn't want anyone else's help. She couldn't appreciate my patting her head open. Sadako had no choice but to cry in silence.
さとこちゃん、今は泣いても誰にも言わないよ。
After Rena said that, Sadako started crying like a baby. I felt relieved, knowing that it wasn't too late. She hadn't yet suffered from the fatal emotional wound that I saw in my imaginary world. However, her tears made it clear that I needed to save her as soon as possible, no matter what the whole world might say to me. And on that note, I think I'll end it here for today. I hope you all enjoyed. Let me know any feedback you have in the comments, and until next time, see ya.